Tonight, we will tell you a story that spans millennia, a story of an ancient people who looked to the heavens for wonder, for wisdom, for prophecy, and for the very rhythm of their lives. We will journey into the heart of the Maya civilization, a culture woven from starlight and etched into stone calendars. You will learn how they mapped the movements of planets with breathtaking accuracy, how their priests read omens in the sky, and how their kings aligned their cities with cosmic forces. It is a tale of unparalleled intellectual achievement, of deep spiritual connection to the cosmos, and of a profound understanding of time itself, a legacy that still whispers secrets across the ages. Oh, and if you enjoy these stories, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. New sleep stories are released here every night, designed to guide you into peaceful slumber. All right, find a comfortable spot. Let your body sink into the softness of your bed. Take a deep, calming breath and allow the ancient secrets of the Maya to lull you into a restful sleep. Our journey into their world begins long ago in a lush, vibrant land where the very first seeds of their cosmic understanding were sown, nurtured by the silent whispers of the jungle and the timeless dance of the stars above. Tonight, I will tell you a story that is rooted in the deep past, a story of a civilization whose cities rose from the middle of the jungle and whose eyes were fixed upon the sky. This is the story of the ancient Maya, a people who did not just live on the earth, but breathed the cosmos, tracing its mysteries with incredible precision. Make yourself comfortable and allow me to transport you to the very heart of Mesoamerica, to a world where time and the stars were one. Imagine lands covered in dense tropical forests, stretching from the southern regions of modern-day Mexico through all of Guatemala and Belize to the western parts of El Salvador and Honduras. This is Mesoamerica, the cradle of many great civilizations, but it was here, in its hot and humid climate, that the Maya culture was born and flourished, long before their majestic cities, such as Tikal or Palenque, reached their zenith. The first Maya communities began to form in this fertile, yet at times harsh, environment. Their life depended on the land and its rhythms. They cultivated maize or corn, which was the foundation of their diet and culture. They learned to understand the seasons of rain and drought, when to plant and when to harvest. But they very soon realized that the keys to these rhythms were not only on the earth, but high above it. You can imagine how, in those distant times, when electric light did not exist, the night sky over the jungle was incredibly bright and clear. Millions of stars, the Milky Way, the moving planets, all of this was part of their daily reality. Not just a beautiful sight, but a source of deep knowledge. For the Maya, the sky was not something distant and unattainable. It was alive, filled with deities, ancestors, and omens. The earliest evidence of their interest in the sky dates back to the period known as the Pre-Classic, from about 2000 BCE to 250 CE. During this time, the communities were still relatively small, but they were already beginning to build the first ceremonial centers, and remarkably, many of these early structures already had an astronomical orientation. This was no accident. It was a conscious choice, reflecting their deep connection to the cosmos. Take, for example, the early settlements on the Pacific coast, where people learned to read the signs in the sky. They observed the sunrises and sunsets on specific days of the year, marking the points of the summer and winter solstices, the days when the sun reaches its highest or lowest point in the celestial sphere. They saw how the constellations changed throughout the year, how the moon went through its phases, and how planets like Venus moved across the sky in their complex but predictable cycles. These observations were not just scientific curiosity in the modern sense. For the Maya, it was something much more. It was a sacred practice, a way of communicating with the gods, understanding the will of the cosmos, and maintaining harmony between the world of humans and the divine world. Every sunrise, every appearance of Venus, every eclipse carried a message that needed to be deciphered. Their early priests and observers, who were simultaneously astronomers, mathematicians, and spiritual leaders, began to systematize these observations. They did not use telescopes as we do today, but their eyes were sharp and their patience was infinite. They used simple instruments such as crossed sticks, observation pillars, and even natural landmarks like mountain tops or specific trees to accurately mark the positions of celestial bodies. This was the beginning of their unique system of time, in which each day was not just a segment between dawn and dusk, but a part of a grand cosmic dance. They believed that everything in the universe moved in cycles, and understanding these cycles gave them power. It gave them the ability to predict the future, plan rituals, and determine auspicious days for important events, such as the coronations of rulers or the beginning of military campaigns. Their culture did not just arise in Mesoamerica. It grew from this land, but its spirit was directed towards the stars. The sky was their first book, and the stars were the letters they learned to read. This desire to understand celestial phenomena became the foundation for everything they created later. Their complex writing, their magnificent architecture, and of course, their amazing calendar systems. Gradually, from these early observations, from this deep respect for the heavens, a complex and precise system of knowledge began to take shape. The Maya did not just look at the stars. They lived by them, weaving them into the fabric of their daily lives and their spirituality. Every celestial movement had meaning. Every cycle was part of a grand narrative that they sought to understand and record. This early phase of their development, when the first settlements were founded, when maize became the staple food, and when the sky became the main source of inspiration and knowledge, laid the foundation for all the future greatness of the Maya. They learned not only to survive, but to thrive, finding harmony between the earth and the sky. And it was this very aspiration for celestial harmony that led them to create the most complex and accurate calendar systems in the ancient world. They did not just count the days, they also measured the time of the universe. They saw how the sun slowly moved along the ecliptic, how the moon changed its phases, and how the planets danced their intricate patterns. These observations, accumulated over centuries, became the basis for their unique calendar systems, each serving its own purpose, but all together creating a single, grand picture of time. These early astronomers may not yet have had majestic observatories, but their minds were attuned to the stars. They passed their knowledge from generation to generation, from priest to apprentice, from elder to youth, preserving and expanding this sacred heritage. And so, slowly but surely, a civilization developed whose destiny was inextricably linked to the movement of celestial bodies. Their belief in the cyclical nature of time, that everything repeats but each time in a slightly new way, was deeply rooted in their observations of the sky. The sun always returned, the moon always went through its phases, the stars always followed their paths. This gave them a sense of order and predictability in a world that could be unpredictable and dangerous. This was a time when every stone, every ceremony, every drawing on a wall began to acquire cosmic significance. They believed that the world was not just a place, but a living organism, connected to the heavens by invisible threads, and their task was to understand these threads, to live in harmony with them. Thus, even before the construction of pyramids and the creation of complex hieroglyphs, the Maya were already a people of the stars. Their culture was literally built on a foundation of celestial observations, and their belief in the cyclical nature of time and their connection to the divine world through the cosmos became an integral part of their identity. Allow yourself to imagine the silence of the night in the ancient jungles, interrupted only by the rustle of leaves and the distant sounds of animals. In this silence, people raised their eyes to the sky, and in the shimmering points of light, they found the answers that shaped their world. This was the beginning of a journey that led them to incredible achievements in astronomy and mathematics. It was this deep, almost instinctive understanding of the connection between earthly life and celestial phenomena that became the driving force for the creation of their famous calendar systems. They did not just mark the days. They tried to capture the breath of the universe, to understand its rhythm in order to live in harmony with it. These early steps were the most important. They determined the direction of development for the entire civilization. From simple stone markers to complex observatories, from the first oral traditions to hieroglyphs carved in stone, it all began with one thing: a gaze directed at the sky, which saw not just light, but meaning. It was this meaning that they sought to capture, so that future generations could continue to read the great book of the sky. And so, from the depths of centuries, from the heart of the jungle, from under the starry canopy, the unique civilization of the Maya began to form, whose history was written not only on the earth, but also on the celestial sphere. They did not just live, they observed. They did not just believe, they measured. And it was this combination of spirituality and precision that made them truly great. Their first steps in understanding the cosmos were the first steps towards the immortality of their culture. And this understanding would become the key to their most amazing creations, their calendars. From the very dawn of their civilization, the Maya turned their gaze skyward, not with casual curiosity, but with an intense, systematic dedication. They understood that the heavens held the keys to understanding the patterns of life on Earth. Without the aid of telescopes or any optical instruments known to us, their methods of observation relied on the keen eyes of their priest astronomers and the meticulous recording of data over generations. Their observatories were often ingeniously simple, yet profoundly effective. Open plazas within their burgeoning cities provided clear horizons. The flat tops of their towering pyramids offered elevated vantage points, and specifically designed structures, sometimes with narrow slits or carefully positioned doorways, served as precise alignment markers. These architectural features were not merely decorative, they were functional tools, allowing the observer to mark the exact point where a celestial body rose or set on a particular date. This dedication to precise alignment imbued their entire urban landscape with cosmic meaning, transforming cities into living calendars and astronomical charts. Silent sentinels under the vast expanse of the night sky. The sun, the giver of light and life, was naturally a primary focus of their observations. Maya astronomers meticulously tracked its daily journey across the sky and, more importantly, its subtle shift along the horizon throughout the year. They precisely identified the solstices, the longest and shortest days, and the equinoxes, when day and night were of equal length. These celestial turning points were not just abstract scientific measurements, they were sacred milestones that governed the very rhythm of Maya life. The knowledge of when the sun reached its zenith or its lowest point directly dictated the agricultural calendar, informing the vital decisions of when to plant their staple crops, especially maize, and when to prepare for harvest. This understanding also deeply influenced their ceremonial life, scheduling grand rituals and festivals to coincide with these powerful solar events, reinforcing the ruler's connection to the divine power of the sun. The precise orientation of their temples and palaces, with doorways and passageways aligned to capture the first golden rays of the rising sun on a significant solstice or equinox, served as a perpetual reminder of this sacred cosmic order, casting long, deliberate shadows across their plazas. The moon, with its ever-changing phases, was another celestial body of immense importance to the Maya. Their priest astronomers observed its waxing and waning cycles with astounding detail, meticulously charting its complex path across the night sky. They developed sophisticated tables to predict lunar eclipses with remarkable accuracy, a feat that underscores their advanced mathematical understanding and their ability to record and interpret long-term astronomical data. This profound lunar knowledge was intrinsically linked to their ritual calendar, influencing the timing of numerous religious ceremonies, fertility rites, and even the scheduling of women's activities. The moon was often associated with specific deities, particularly goddesses of fertility and weaving, and its cycles were seen as embodying the ebb and flow of life itself, a gentle, guiding light through the darkness. Beyond the immediate brilliance of the sun and moon, the Maya gazed deeply into the vast tapestry of the stars. While their constellations might have differed from those recognized by other ancient cultures, they meticulously tracked the movements of specific stellar groups and individual stars. They understood the fixed nature of certain stars, using them for navigation across their vast territories and as reliable markers for calculating longer cycles of time. The Pleiades, a distinctive cluster of stars, held particular significance, often associated with the beginning of the agricultural year or with specific creation myths. Their ability to predict the movements of these celestial bodies, to discern intricate patterns over decades, centuries, and even millennia, allowed them to weave the grand narrative of the cosmos into the very fabric of their daily existence and the spiritual framework of their society. The planets, too, captured their attention, particularly those visible to the naked eye, such as Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They recognized that these wandering stars moved differently from the fixed stars, following their own unique, complex paths across the sky. Their observations of these planetary motions, especially the extraordinary precision with which they tracked Venus, would become a cornerstone of their most intricate calendrical systems and cosmological beliefs. This deep, sustained engagement with the celestial sphere allowed the Maya to understand not just the immediate natural cycles, but also to perceive a grander, more profound cosmic order. They sought to live in harmony with these celestial rhythms, believing that the movements of the heavens directly influenced events on earth, from the success of a harvest to the fate of a king. Their astronomical knowledge was therefore not merely scientific, it was a sacred endeavor, a continuous dialogue with the divine forces that shaped their world. Every observation, every calculation, every alignment in stone was a testament to their unwavering belief that the secrets of existence were written in the stars, waiting to be read by those with the dedication and wisdom to truly see. This profound connection to the cosmos laid the groundwork for their astonishing calendrical inventions, which would allow them to measure time on scales that dwarfed the understanding of most other ancient civilizations of their time, forging a legacy of cosmic insight that continues to intrigue us even today. The Mayas' understanding of time extended far beyond simple observation. They wove it into complex, interconnected calendrical systems, each serving a distinct purpose, yet all harmonizing to reflect a profound cosmic order. The most sacred of these was the Tzolkin, a 260-day calendar often referred to as the Sacred Round. This was not a calendar tied to astronomical cycles in the same way our modern calendars are. Instead, it was a ritualistic and divinatory tool, deeply embedded in the spiritual fabric of their existence. Its structure was elegantly simple, yet infinitely profound, combining a cycle of 20 named days with a cycle of 13 numbers. Imagine, if you will, a pair of interlocking gears, one with 20 teeth, each bearing a unique day symbol, and the other with 13 teeth, each representing a number from 1 to 13. As time advanced, both gears turned simultaneously. So, the sequence would begin with 1 imix, then 2 ik, 3 akbal, and continue sequentially until it reached 13 ben. The very next day, the number cycle would reset to 1, but the day name would continue, leading to 1 arix. This intricate and endlessly moving dance of numbers and names meant that any given combination, such as 4 ahau, would only recur once every 260 days, providing a truly unique identity for each day within this sacred cycle. It was a rhythmic pulse, a cosmic heartbeat that resonated through their world. The 260-day length of the Tzolkin held immense spiritual significance for the Maya, a duration that has intrigued scholars for centuries. While its precise origin remains a subject of academic debate, several compelling theories have emerged. Some postulate that it mirrored the approximate length of human gestation, drawing a profound connection between the calendar and the miraculous cycle of life, birth, and creation. This perspective elevates the Tzolkin to a calendar of being, intimately tied to the very essence of existence. Other interpretations link it to the agricultural rhythms of Mesoamerica, particularly the growth period of maize, the life-sustaining staple crop that was central to Maya civilization. For a people whose survival depended on the land, a calendar reflecting these vital cycles would naturally hold deep reverence. There is also a fascinating hypothesis that connects the Tzolkin to specific astronomical phenomena, such as the zenith passage of the sun over certain Maya cities, or the heliacal rising of the Pleiades star cluster, an event significant in many ancient cultures. Regardless of its exact astronomical or biological derivation, the Tzolkin was universally perceived by the Maya as a living, breathing entity, a sacred rhythm that permeated all aspects of life, connecting the individual to the larger cosmic pulse and the unseen forces of the universe. It was the very breath of time, dictating the ebb and flow of spiritual energy. Priests, revered as daykeepers or ajkian, were the dedicated custodians of the Tzolkin. They possessed an intimate and profound knowledge of its intricate workings, its symbolic meanings, and its deep spiritual implications. Their role within Maya society was not merely important, it was indispensable, serving as the bridge between the earthly realm and the divine cosmic order. The Tzolkin was far more than a simple chronological tool. It was a powerful and dynamic instrument of divination, an oracle through which the will of the gods and the currents of fate could be discerned. By meticulously understanding the unique energy and symbolism associated with each of the 260 distinct days, daykeepers could interpret omens, predict auspicious or unfavorable times for various undertakings, and offer invaluable guidance on critical decisions, both personal and communal. For example, if you were a Maya farmer contemplating the planting of your precious maize, you would undoubtedly consult a daykeeper. They would meticulously analyze the Tzolkin to determine the most propitious day, ensuring the favor of the rain gods and a bountiful, very healthy yield. Similarly, if you were a powerful ruler or a seasoned warrior, the Tzolkin would serve as your strategic guide, helping you select the most cosmically aligned and propitious moment to launch a significant military campaign, thereby seeking divine blessing and ensuring victory against your adversaries. Beyond its divinatory functions, the Tzolkin played an absolutely crucial role in shaping personal identity and destiny. When a child was born into Maya society, their birth date within the intricate cycles of the Tzolkin calendar was considered an event of paramount spiritual importance. This specific combination of day name and number was not just a marker of time, it was believed to indelibly imbue the individual with particular characteristics, inherent talents, and even a unique, predetermined destiny. It was a common and deeply ingrained practice for children to be formally named after their birthday, adopting names such as Seven Ahau or One Imix. This practice forged an unbreakable and deeply spiritual link between their personal identity, their inherent nature, and the cosmic energies of that particular day. It reinforced the profound Maya belief that each person was not merely an isolated individual, but an integral and interconnected thread within the grand cosmic tapestry, intimately connected to the vast unseen cycles of the universe. The Tzolkin, therefore, transcended the definition of a mere calendar. It was a sacred blueprint, a spiritual compass guiding every individual's journey, from their very first breath through the entirety of their life. It ensured that all actions, all ceremonies, and all significant events resonated harmoniously with the sacred rhythms of the cosmos. It governed the precise timing of elaborate rituals, the solemn dedication of newly constructed temples, the sacred anointing of powerful rulers, and even the seemingly mundane daily activities of the common people, making it an ever-present, pervasive, and invisible force that profoundly shaped their entire world. This sacred spiritual rhythm, so deeply interwoven with their lives, was constantly synchronized with another equally crucial calendar, one that meticulously tracked the earthly cycles and the precise passage of the solar year, bridging the spiritual with the practical. While the Tzolkin calendar served as the profound spiritual pulse of Maya existence, providing a sacred rhythm for divination and individual destiny, there was another, equally vital system, intricately woven into the very fabric of their daily lives: the Hob calendar. This was the civil calendar, practical and precise, designed to harmonize human activity with the rhythms of the natural world. Unlike the Tzolkin's sacred 260-day cycle, the Hob followed a 365-day year, mirroring the solar year, accurately tracking seasons. Its structure was simple yet effective: 18 distinct months, each comprising exactly 20 days, followed by a brief period of 5 days at the very end of the year, known as the Wayeb. The purpose of the Hob was profoundly agricultural, a necessity for a civilization dependent on land fertility. Understanding the precise timing of seasons, the onset of vital rainfall, and the optimal moments for planting and harvesting was paramount. The Hob provided this essential framework. It dictated with authority when the fields, often cleared by fire, needed to be prepared, when the maize seeds were sown into the rich earth, when to anticipate the life-giving rainy season, and when to celebrate the bountiful harvest. Imagine the Maya farmers, their hands calloused from toil, their faces turned towards the sky not just for spiritual guidance, but for the practical signs of the sun's consistent journey across the heavens. Their keen observations, made from astronomical stations or precise architectural alignments, confirmed the calendar's accuracy, ensuring their agricultural practices were perfectly synchronized with nature's design. The warmth of the sun, the scent of damp earth after a long-awaited rain, these were sensory confirmations of the Hob's enduring wisdom. Beyond the vital rhythm of agriculture, the Hob governed the civil and ceremonial life of every Maya community. Public festivals, religious rituals, market days, and political gatherings like enthronements or alliances were all precisely scheduled according to its predictable cycles. It provided a predictable rhythm for society, ensuring everyone understood the flow of time and the appropriate moments for various communal activities. The very structure of Maya governance, social interaction, and the collective memory of their history were all underpinned by this calendrical precision, a testament to their belief in order and cyclical recurrence. Then came the Wayeb, those 5 enigmatic, often unsettling days at the close of the Hob year. These were not days of celebration or productivity. They were considered a period of great uncertainty, a time of potential danger and ill omen. The Maya believed that during the Hayeb, the veil between the human world and supernatural realms thinned, making it easier for malevolent forces to cross over. During this brief interval, people would often abstain from work, remaining indoors, and engaging in protective rituals to ward off misfortune. It was a time of introspection, communal cleansing, and quiet preparation for the new year to dawn. The air during these 5 days might have felt heavier, charged with a sense of apprehension as people moved with deliberate care, their usual routine suspended in deference to cosmic vulnerability. The quiet fear, a low hum, was a stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the other days. The profound genius of the Maya calendrical system, however, lay in the masterful synchronization of the sacred Tzolkin and the practical Hab. These two distinct calendars operated not in isolation, but simultaneously, like intermeshing gears within a complex cosmic clockwork. When a specific Tzolkin day name and its number coincided with a Hab day and month, a unique date was created. This precise combination would not repeat for 52 Hab years, 18,180 days. This larger cycle, known as the calendar round, was of immense significance. It represented a complete cycle of human life and was frequently used to mark major historical events, the reigns of kings, and societal transformations. For the Maya, the calendar round was far more than a sophisticated way to measure time. It was a philosophical statement about the cyclical nature of existence, a recurring pattern that connected past, present, and future within a grand cosmic design. Each calendar round completion was a moment of profound spiritual and communal renewal, a time for reflection and reaffirmation, often accompanied by elaborate ceremonies and monumental stelae, reinforcing the enduring power of time. The carved stone monuments, silent reminders of these vast cycles, stood tall against the jungle canopy. The calendar round, while vital for daily life and understanding recurring cycles, possessed a limitation. It repeated every 52 years. For a civilization keen on meticulously documenting its history, tracking the reigns of kings, the outcomes of battles, and the profound movements of the cosmos over vast stretches of time, a more expansive system was indispensable. This necessity gave rise to perhaps the most remarkable achievement of Maya chronology, the long count calendar. It was not merely a way to measure days, but a linear, non-repeating count of days from a mythical creation date, allowing them to anchor events precisely within a cosmic timeline that stretched millions of years into both the past and the future. Imagine a system built not on cycles of months or seasons, but on an ever-advancing tally of individual days. The long count operated on a base 20 or vigesimal system, much like our decimal system is base 10, but with a slight irregularity in one position to align with the approximate length of a solar year. The smallest unit was the kin, representing a single day. Above the kin was the winal, a period of 20 kins or 20 days. Then came the ton, a crucial unit of 360 days, remarkably close to a solar year, designed to fit cleanly within the vigesimal structure, a testament to their mathematical ingenuity. 20 tons formed a katun, a period of 7,200 days or approximately 20 years. And finally, 20 katuns made a baktun, a colossal span of 144,000 days, roughly 400 years. These units were combined to form a sequence of 5 numbers, like 13.0.0.0.0, each representing a count of baktuns, katuns, tuns, unals, and kins, respectively, from the mythical starting point. This grand cosmic clock began ticking from a date the Maya believed marked the creation of the current world. For Aja 8 Kumku, which correlates to August 11th, 31 Tampras BCE in our Gregorian calendar. This specific date, 13.0.0.0, represented the completion of a grand cycle of 13 baktuns. The Maya envisioned time not as an endless straight line, but as a series of vast cycles, each culminating in a reset or renewal. The ending of one Baktun cycle, or especially the larger 13 Baktun cycle, was a moment of profound cosmic significance, often marked by elaborate ceremonies and prophecies. While some modern interpretations sensationalize the 2012 end date as a doomsday scenario for the ancient Maya, it was more likely perceived as the conclusion of one great cosmic era and the beginning of another, a cyclical renewal rather than an absolute end, a profound understanding of time's flow. The long count calendar was the backbone of Maya historical records, providing an absolute chronology that allowed them to precisely date events. You would find these dates carved with exquisite detail onto monumental stelae, towering stone slabs erected in city plazas, altars, and the lintels above temple doorways. Each inscription typically began with an initial series date, a full long count notation, often accompanied by supplementary glyphs providing further astronomical and calendrical information, such as the position of the moon, Venus, and other celestial bodies. These detailed records allowed them to chronicle the lives of their rulers, their births, their accessions to power, their military victories, their marriages, the deaths of their parents, and the dedication of temples and monuments. It was a public record, etched in stone for all to see, a tangible link connecting the lives of their kings directly to the grand cosmic unfolding of time. Through the long count, the Maya could trace the lineage of their kings back through generations, linking their present to a distant sacred past. It imbued their history with a sense of destiny and divine order. Moreover, this linear progression of time allowed them to project into the future, enabling them to calculate astronomical events with astonishing accuracy centuries in advance and to predict auspicious or inauspicious days for future undertakings. The very structure of their cities, their temples, and their ceremonial plazas often incorporated these calendrical and astronomical alignments, turning the built environment into a vast living calendar. The precision and complexity of the long count stand as a testament to the Maya's profound intellectual curiosity and their unparalleled mastery of mathematics and astronomy, far surpassing many other ancient civilizations in their understanding and measurement of time. It was a calendrical system not just for tracking days, but for understanding their place within the vast, intricate tapestry of the cosmos. The Maya, with their profound understanding of time, extended their gaze beyond the mere counting of days and years. They focused intently on the celestial tapestry above, particularly drawn to the radiant presence of Venus. This bright planet, known to them as the Great Star or Noek, held a prominence in their cosmology that transcended simple observation. It was not merely a point of light in the night sky. It was a living entity, a harbinger of events, and a direct link to the divine. Their observations of Venus were astonishingly precise, far exceeding the capabilities of many other ancient civilizations. Without telescopes, using only their keen eyes and sophisticated sighting tools, they meticulously tracked its complex movements. They understood that Venus had a synodic period, the time it takes for the planet to return to the same position relative to the Sun as seen from Earth, of approximately 584 days. This was not a rough estimate. Their calculations were incredibly close to modern astronomical figures, demonstrating an unparalleled dedication to celestial mechanics. They noted its phases with remarkable accuracy, Its brilliant appearance as the morning star, its brief disappearance as it passed behind the sun, its reemergence as the evening star, and its final disappearance before another cycle began. Each of these phases, each transition, was imbued with profound meaning and meticulously recorded. This precise 584-day cycle of Venus was intricately woven into the very fabric of their calendrical systems. 5 such Venus cycles perfectly aligned with 8 of their 365-day Hob years, totaling 2920 days. This synchronization allowed them to create complex tables and almanacs, not just for tracking the planet, but for predicting its movements years, even centuries, into the future. Such detailed knowledge was not merely for academic pursuit. It was fundamental to their spiritual and political life. Venus was deeply associated with significant deities within the Maya pantheon, most notably Tzolkin, the feathered serpent god, who embodied wisdom, creation, and the very cycles of life and death. The planet's movements were believed to be manifestations of the god's will, influencing earthly affairs. Its heliacal rise, the first appearance of the planet in the morning sky after a period of invisibility just before sunrise, was considered an especially potent and often ominous event. This moment, when Venus, reborn from the underworld, was viewed as a time of immense cosmic power, often signaling a period of danger or transformation. The Maya rulers, ever keen to legitimize their power and ensure prosperity for their people, leveraged this astronomical knowledge to an extraordinary degree. The cycles of Venus were not just tracked for curiosity. They were practical tools for governance and warfare. Military campaigns, significant battles, and even ritual sacrifices were often meticulously planned to coincide with specific phases of Venus, particularly its heliacal rise. It was believed that launching an attack when Venus ascended as the morning star would grant the Maya warriors an advantage, ensuring victory or at least providing a powerful spiritual endorsement for their actions. The timing was everything. A campaign initiated under the wrong celestial alignment could spell disaster, while one perfectly synchronized with Venus's cycle promised triumph. This deep connection between celestial events and earthly conflict underscores how integrated astronomy was into their socio-political structure. Furthermore, Venus played a critical role in Maya prophecy and divination. The Dresden Codex, one of the few surviving Maya books, contains extensive Venus tables, not just charting the planet's trajectory, but also detailing the omens associated with each phase. These elaborate tables allowed the Maya priests and astronomers to interpret the planet's influence on various aspects of life, from agricultural yields to the fate of kings. The appearance of Venus in certain constellations, or its specific position relative to the sun, could foretell periods of drought, prosperity, or even impending doom. This predictive capacity gave the elite immense authority, as they were the intermediaries between the cosmic order and the human world. The Mayas' veneration of Venus was also evident in their architecture. While the broader alignment of cities with cosmic phenomena belongs to a later discussion, it is worth noting here that certain structures, like the Caracol Observatory at Chichen Itza, were specifically designed to track the extreme northern and southern settings of Venus. The precise angles of doorways and windows allowed for accurate observations of the planet's path across the sky, anchoring their earthly structures to the celestial dance. The very layout of their cities, the orientation of their temples, and the placement of their monuments often incorporated subtle alignments with key Venus events, transforming their urban centers into cosmic maps, reflecting their profound understanding that the world below was a mirror of the world above. The intricate relationship between Venus and the Maya extended into almost every facet of their existence. It was not simply a scientific endeavor, but a spiritual one, deeply embedded in their worldview, their religion, their politics, and their daily rituals. The planet's light guided their warfare, informed their prophecies, and shaped their understanding of destiny. Their ability to track its movements with such precision without modern instruments remains a testament to their intellectual prowess and their deep, abiding connection to the cosmos. They saw in Venus not just a planet, but a powerful, living deity whose every movement held a message for humanity, a message they painstakingly learned to read and interpret. Their legacy of Venus observation continues to awe modern astronomers, a silent testament to a civilization that truly lived by the stars. This deep reverence for the celestial realm extended far beyond mere observation. It permeated the very fabric of their physical world. For the Maya, the line between the heavens and the earth was thin, almost imperceptible. They believed that by aligning their cities and structures with the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, they could not only honor the deities, but also harness cosmic energies, ensuring the prosperity of their people and the legitimacy of their rulers. Their architecture was not merely functional, it was a grand, enduring testament to their profound cosmic worldview, a tangible link between the human realm and the divine. Every pyramid, every temple, every plaza was a deliberate act of connecting the earthly landscape to the celestial tapestry above. Consider El Caracol, the renowned observatory at Chichen Itza, a major Maya city in the Yucatan Peninsula. Its name, the snail in Spanish, comes from its spiral staircase, which ascends to the observation chamber. Unlike most Maya buildings, which are typically rectangular or square, El Caracol is predominantly circular, a design perfectly suited for tracking celestial movements from various angles. This unique structure, with its sturdy stone walls and carefully placed windows, served as a primary astronomical instrument. From its observation platforms, ancient Maya astronomers, often priests or noble scholars, meticulously charted the paths of planets and stars. They understood that the precision of their observations was not just an intellectual pursuit, but a sacred duty, allowing them to predict significant celestial events. The windows of El Caracol were specifically oriented to align with the extreme positions of Venus, marking its heliacal rising and setting, moments of immense ritual importance. Other openings aligned with the sun's path during the equinoxes and solstices, those crucial turning points of the year when day and night are equal, or when the sun reaches its highest or lowest points. Imagine standing within that ancient observatory, the cool stone beneath your feet, as the first rays of the dawn sun or the last glow of Venus pierced through a precisely carved opening, illuminating a specific point on the inner walls. It was a moment of profound connection, a verification of their cosmic understanding, and a signal for the elaborate ceremonies that would follow. But El Caracol was not an isolated marvel. It was part of a larger, systemic approach to urban planning. Throughout the Maya world, from the towering pyramids of Tikal in present-day Guatemala to the intricate palaces of Palenque in southern Mexico, architects integrated astronomical alignments into their designs. At Palenque, the group of the cross temples, the Temple of the Sun, the Temple of the Cross, and the Temple of the Foliated Cross, were arranged not only to honor specific deities, but also to reflect a deep understanding of the cosmos. Their entrances and central axes often pointed to significant astronomical events, such as the rising or setting sun on particular dates, or the positions of prominent stars. At Uxmal, another grand city, the Pyramid of the Magician, with its unique rounded corners, is said to be aligned with the setting sun on the summer solstice, creating a dramatic visual spectacle of light and shadow that would have been awe-inspiring for the assembled populace. These alignments were not accidental. They were the result of centuries of accumulated knowledge passed down through generations of astronomers and builders. The purpose behind these architectural marvels was multifaceted. Firstly, they served as giant immovable calendars, marking the passage of time and the cyclical nature of the cosmos for the entire community. The shadow play on a pyramid during an equinox was a public announcement, visible to all, signaling the time for planting or harvesting, for specific rituals, or for the start of important festivals. Secondly, these alignments imbued the physical space with sacred power. By building their temples and cities in harmony with the heavens, the Maya believed they were creating a microcosm of the universe, a place where the divine could more easily interact with the human. The very act of constructing such precise structures was a form of devotion, a monumental offering to the gods. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly for their political structure, these alignments legitimized the power of the Maya rulers. Kings were seen as intermediaries between the earthly and celestial realms. Their authority derived from their connection to the gods and their mastery over time. By accurately predicting eclipses, tracking planetary movements, and orchestrating ceremonies at cosmically significant moments, rulers demonstrated their divine favor and their ability to maintain cosmic order. A king who could accurately foretell the movements of Venus and schedule a successful military campaign based on those predictions was clearly blessed by the heavens. The meticulous planning involved in these constructions speaks volumes about the Mayas' intellectual sophistication. They possessed not only advanced mathematical skills, but also an intimate generational understanding of the night sky, far surpassing many of their contemporary civilizations. Their observatories were not just buildings. They were sophisticated instruments, silent witnesses to countless hours of patient observation, where the cold stone walls absorbed the wisdom of the ages, the precise angles of doorways, the orientation of entire plazas, the careful placement of stelae, upright carved stone slabs often depicting rulers and historical events, all served to integrate their earthly existence with the grand, predictable dance of the cosmos. For the Maya, the sky was not distant. It was an active, ever-present force, and their cities were built to reflect that eternal intertwined relationship, allowing their people to live in harmony with the rhythms of the universe, guided by the silent wisdom etched into the very stones they inhabited. Building upon this intricate framework, Maya kings and the ruling elite understood that their power was not merely earthly. It was divinely ordained, intricately woven into the very fabric of the cosmos itself. They were not just leaders of men, but intermediaries between the human realm and the celestial deities, and their every significant action, from birth to accession to death, was often meticulously timed to align with powerful astronomical events. You see, for a Maya ruler or Ajah, the ability to interpret the celestial dance was paramount. It bestowed upon them an almost unassailable authority, cementing their claim to govern as chosen ones. Imagine a ruler, perhaps in the grand city of Tikal, surrounded by his most trusted advisors and scribes, poring over ancient texts and newly observed celestial charts. He would consult these records not only for personal guidance, but for the very stability and prosperity of his kingdom. The timing of their major life events, such as their birth, the day they ascended to the throne, or even the dates of their most significant rituals, were not left to chance. Instead, they were often carefully chosen to coincide with powerful celestial phenomena. The heliacal rising of Venus, the precise moment of a solstice, or the appearance of a new moon. These alignments were not merely symbolic. They were seen as direct endorsements from the gods, tangible proof that the Ajah held a sacred connection to the cosmic forces that governed existence. This profound belief imbued their leadership with an aura of divine right, making their rule unquestionable to their subjects. This deep reliance on the cosmos extended far beyond personal milestones. The entire rhythm of Maya society, particularly its elaborate ceremonial life, was orchestrated by the intricate calendrical system. The Tzolkin, with its 260 days, and the Hab, with its 365, worked in tandem to provide a vast array of auspicious and inauspicious dates. Priests and scribes, the intellectual custodians of this knowledge, would meticulously calculate the most propitious moments for grand public ceremonies, bloodletting rituals, and offerings to the gods. You can almost hear the rhythmic chanting, feel the humid air thick with incense, and see the vibrant colors of the regalia as the ruler, at the calculated peak of a celestial alignment, performed sacred duties. These public displays of cosmic harmony reinforced the Ajah's role as the central axis of their universe, ensuring the continued favor of the deities and the well-being of their people. They were not just performing a ritual, they were reaffirming the cosmic order. Perhaps one of the most striking applications of this astronomical foresight was in the realm of warfare. For the Maya, conflict was not simply a mundane struggle for land or resources. It was a sacred endeavor, often deeply intertwined with the cycles of Venus. This brilliant morning star held a particular significance for military campaigns. Its appearance in the sky, its various phases, and its precise movements were believed to predict the outcome of battles. Maya rulers would often schedule their military expeditions, raids, and even the capture of rival lords to coincide with specific Venus cycles, believing that such timing would guarantee victory. Imagine the tension in the royal court as the Ajah and his war council awaited the precise astronomical sign, an omen from the heavens, before dispatching their warriors. The belief was that a battle initiated under the right celestial influence would be divinely favored, leading to a swift and decisive triumph. This cosmic strategy transformed warfare into a ritualized act, imbued with spiritual meaning. This exclusive access to and mastery of astronomical and calendrical knowledge was also a powerful tool for political control and social stratification. Only the elite, the ruling families, and their specialized priestly class possessed the literacy and training required to understand the complex calculations and interpretations. This intellectual monopoly reinforced their elevated status, setting them apart from the common populace. When a ruler accurately predicted an eclipse or timed a major ceremony to perfection, it was seen as evidence of their profound connection to the divine, inspiring awe and loyalty among their subjects. Think of the monumental stelae, towering stone monuments carved with intricate glyphs that stood in the city plazas. These stelae often recorded not just historical events, but also their precise astronomical and calendrical contexts, permanently linking the ruler's achievements to the cosmic dance. These were public proclamations of their divine mandate, visible for all to behold. The scribes and priests, often drawn from noble families, were the indispensable architects of this cosmic system. They were the meticulous observers, the diligent record keepers, and the astute interpreters. They maintained the fragile bark paper books known as codices, filled with astronomical tables, calendrical cycles, and prophecies. You can almost picture them, hunched over their illuminated manuscripts in the quiet coolness of a temple chamber, their hands carefully inscribing glyphs, their minds grappling with the vastness of time and space. They were the bridge between the observed heavens and the earthly power of the Ajah, ensuring the continuity of knowledge and the proper execution of cosmic rituals. Their expertise was crucial for maintaining the legitimacy and stability of the Maya state. While the Maya believed in the absolute power of these cosmic alignments, a misinterpretation or a perceived failure to align with the heavens could have profound consequences for a ruler's authority. The delicate balance between human action and divine will meant that any perceived cosmic disharmony could be interpreted as a sign of divine displeasure, potentially leading to unrest or even the downfall of a ruling lineage. This constant pressure to maintain cosmic harmony underscored the immense responsibility carried by the Ajah, making their connection to the stars not just a source of power, but a perpetual test of their fitness to rule. Their reign was a continuous dialogue with the universe itself. Yet, even with such profound cosmic alignment and powerful leadership, the grand tapestry of the classic Maya civilization in the southern lowlands began to unravel. Around the 9th century of our common era, a slow, complex decline started to grip many of the great cities like Tikal, Palenque, and Copan. It was not a sudden, cataclysmic event that swept everyone away, but a gradual weakening, a prolonged period of environmental and social stress that saw the abandonment of once thriving urban centers. Scholars today point to a confluence of factors that likely contributed to this regional decline. Prolonged and severe droughts that withered crops and strained precious water resources, leading to widespread famine. Overpopulation in certain areas that pushed the limits of sustainable agriculture, resulting in deforestation and severe soil erosion. And escalating warfare between rival city-states, which destabilized vital trade routes, disrupted social order, and siphoned off resources from productive endeavors. The once vibrant plazas filled with the sounds of ceremony, commerce, and the rhythmic beat of drums, slowly became quiet. The intricate carvings on stelae weathered by time, and the great pyramids stood as silent testaments to a fading grandeur. The elaborate network of alliances and dependencies that had defined the classic period began to fracture, leading to a decentralization of power and a shift in population. However, it is crucial to understand that this was not the end of the Maya people or their civilization. While the southern cities experienced this significant decline, Maya culture continued to flourish and evolve, particularly in the northern Yucatan Peninsula, marking the beginning of what historians call the post-classic period. Here, new centers of power emerged, such as Chichen Itza and Mayapan, where the traditions of astronomy, calendrics, and intricate record-keeping were preserved and adapted. Before this decline, and continuing into these later periods, the Maya meticulously recorded their vast knowledge, their history, prophecies, and sacred texts. Their most precious repositories were the codices, remarkable books fashioned from the inner bark of fig trees, then coated with a thin layer of fine plaster, and folded like elaborate screens. These were not merely chronicles, they were living documents, filled with vibrant colors and precise hieroglyphs, detailing astronomical tables, calendrical calculations of extraordinary accuracy, rituals, and the intricate genealogies of their rulers. They were the very essence of Maya intellectual and spiritual life, held in the careful hands of scribes and priests who understood the cosmic dance. Centuries later, the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in the early 16th century brought an abrupt and devastating end to much of this written tradition. When the European ships first appeared off the coast, carrying men in gleaming armor and wielding strange, loud weapons, the Maya world, though already changed by centuries of internal shifts and regional variations, faced an entirely new kind of challenge. The Spanish, driven by a fervent religious zeal and a profound misunderstanding of indigenous cultures, saw the Maya glyphs and images not as records of profound wisdom or complex scientific observation, but as pagan symbols of idolatry, works of the devil that must be eradicated. A particularly zealous figure, Bishop Diego de Landa, an influential Franciscan friar, in an act of immense historical tragedy and cultural destruction, oversaw the systematic burning of countless codices in July of 1562 in the town of Mani, in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula. Imagine the heat of the flames, the crackling of the bark paper as centuries of accumulated wisdom turned to ash, the smoke carrying away not just ink and plaster, but the unique scent of a civilization's deepest thoughts and observations. It was a catastrophic loss, a deliberate severing of a direct, tangible link to the Maya past, a profound act of intellectual violence. Only a mere handful of these precious codices miraculously survived this relentless destruction, either spirited away by devout Maya who risked their lives or overlooked by the Spanish in their fervor. Today, we know of just 4 undisputed examples that remain: the Dresden Codex, the Madrid Codex, the Paris Codex, and the Grolier Codex. Each of these rare survivors offers an invaluable, though tantalizingly incomplete, glimpse into the intricate workings of the Maya mind, revealing their astronomical tables for Venus and Mars, their calendrical calculations, prophecies, and rituals. Their delicate pages, often adorned with vibrant colors and precise glyphs, whisper across the centuries, testament to what was lost and what, against all odds, endured. This act of destruction profoundly hampered future generations' ability to understand the full scope of Maya intellectual achievement, creating vast gaps in our knowledge that scholars are still striving to fill today, piecing together fragments like scattered stars from a darkened sky. Despite the immense loss caused by the burning of the codices, the Maya spirit and their incredible intellectual achievements were not entirely extinguished. A few precious texts, spared from the flames, along with countless inscriptions carved into stone monuments and pottery, survived as silent witnesses to a once flourishing civilization. For centuries, these intricate glyphs remained an impenetrable mystery, a beautiful but unreadable language that held the secrets of a vanished world. Scholars from various disciplines, driven by an insatiable curiosity and profound respect for the past, began the monumental task of decipherment. It was a slow, arduous journey filled with dead ends and sudden, exhilarating breakthroughs, often spanning multiple generations of dedicated researchers. Early attempts, unfortunately, often wrongly assumed the glyphs were purely ideographic, representing abstract ideas rather than specific sounds, which significantly hampered any meaningful progress for a very long time. However, in the mid-20th century, a crucial and transformative shift in methodology occurred. Pioneering epigraphers, most notably Yuri Knorozov, a brilliant Soviet linguist, proposed a radical new theory, that the Maya writing system was largely phonetic, functioning primarily as a syllabary, where each symbol represented a specific syllable rather than an entire word or concept. This revolutionary insight, though initially met with considerable skepticism and resistance in the academic West, ultimately proved to be the indispensable key that finally unlocked the ancient script. Slowly, meticulously, and with immense collective effort, individual glyphs began to yield their long-held meaning. Each newly understood symbol was like a tiny luminous window opening directly into the sophisticated Maya mind, gradually revealing their complex worldview, their intricate dynastic histories, and their astonishing scientific prowess. With each deciphered text, the simplistic picture of the Maya as mere jungle dwellers was definitively replaced by one of brilliant astronomers, profound mathematicians, and meticulous historians. What ultimately emerged from these deciphered texts was a profound and undeniable testament to the Maya's deeply ingrained cosmic insights. Their astronomical precision, once only vaguely glimpsed through the few surviving codices, was now definitively confirmed and expanded upon in breathtaking detail. We learned that they meticulously tracked the movements of celestial bodies, especially the planet Venus, with an astonishing accuracy that not only rivaled but often significantly surpassed many contemporary civilizations across the globe. They possessed the foresight to predict both solar and lunar eclipses with remarkable precision, often centuries in advance, demonstrating a deep and comprehensive understanding of the intricate cycles that rigorously governed these grand celestial events. Their sophisticated mathematical system, ingeniously based on a vigesimal or base 20 counting system and incorporating the groundbreaking concept of zero, allowed them to calculate truly vast spans of time, far beyond the ordinary human lifespan. The long count calendar, for instance, could accurately chart events millions of years into the distant past and the far-off future, demonstrating a comprehension of cosmic chronology that remains utterly awe-inspiring even to this day. This extraordinarily deep understanding of the cosmos was not merely a detached scientific pursuit for the Maya, it was intricately woven into the very fabric of their daily existence and spiritual beliefs. Their magnificent cities were meticulously built as terrestrial reflections of the heavens. Their elaborate rituals were carefully timed to specific celestial alignments, and their powerful rulers derived significant legitimacy from their perceived ability to commune directly with the stars. The remaining mysteries, however, are just as compelling, perhaps even more so. What further profound knowledge did the vast majority of the lost codices truly contain? What additional astronomical insights, what deeper philosophical reflections on the fundamental nature of time and space were tragically and forever erased by the devastating fires of conquest? We can only glimpse tantalizing fragments of their complete and magnificent cosmic tapestry. Today, the tireless work of decipherment continues unabated, with each new discovery adding another rich and intricate layer to our ever-growing understanding of this truly extraordinary civilization. The Maya legacy is not simply one of ruined stone cities and ancient enigmatic prophecies. It is, at its core, a powerful testament to the enduring human quest to understand our fundamental place in the vast and mysterious universe. Their stars, once observed with such dedication from the towering summits of their temples, still shine brightly above us, and their intricate calendars, though silent for centuries, continue to whisper profound secrets of time and cosmic order. The profound precision of their astronomical observations, the unparalleled depth of their spiritual connection to the heavens, and the sheer intellectual audacity of their achievements stand as a timeless reminder that even across millennia, the human mind ceaselessly yearns to connect with the infinite. As you gently drift into the quiet embrace of sleep, consider the ancient Maya, who looked up at the very same night sky and saw not just scattered points of light, but a living, breathing cosmic dance, a secret language waiting patiently to be understood, a magnificent legacy that continues to unfold, one intricate glyph, one grand calendar, one starlit night at a time. Their profound secrets, whispered softly across the ages, are still being gradually revealed to us, even now.